So here I've got a patch that just got my micro plates here and the Odessa, each being triggered, and in this case Odessa is going through the stereo dipole, and Beehive's just going straight into the mixer, which is going into a little bit of post-processing effects. But the bit I wanted to show you here is this. So I previously had a Penrise quantizer that has the feature, like some of the other dedicated quantizers do, where outputs a gate every time the note changes. I wanted to see if there was a way to do this in Ornament and Crime. So I got my micro Ornaments and Crime here, and I could just flash the standard firmware, but I like the Hemispheres mode. It's got lots of useful features in it, so I wanted to see if there was a way that I could do this with the micro Ornament and Crime Hemispheres firmware. So this is what I came up with. So I've got the trending. On the left here, I've got the dual quantizer for the quantizing duties. And on the right here, I have an applet called Trending. And Trending allows you to set on two channels a value of a condition on which it outputs a gate, I believe. It might be a rather than a trig, it might be, a gate. So those triggers are going individually into the two envelopes in the middle of Quadrax here. As you can see, they are triggering, between the two of them, they are triggering the plates in the sort of rings mode and the filter that's opening, closing on Odessa. So what I have here is I've got these two on the top and the bottommost channels on Quadrax. I have the just get out of the utility mode. I have it in the purple alternative setting, so that it's sort of a jittery random LFO, and that is modulating quite slowly and going into the, well, firstly I'm offsetting it with because the quantizer doesn't detect negative values, I'm offsetting it with here I'm using ColdMac to just use this offset function, and here I'm using Kinks for the other channel to just as you can see, folds the wave like that, so any negative thing actually goes into the positive. So that is going into the quantizer, and the quantizer is multed out here, so you can see the values slightly. You might not be able to see on the camera, but the values is, turn this down. The values are slightly shifting on those two lights, and one side of those is going into the pitch of the two voices, and the other side is going back into the Ornament and Crime, into the trending section. And so these are both set to change value, so they detect whenever the quantizer jumps up and changes to the next note, and then outputs a trigger, which triggers the envelope. So these slow modulating LFOs are, or they can be quite quick, are triggering the voices here in a sort of, which are, by the way, they are being clocked. So there should be some kind of rhythm to it, but it is quite random. And the left knob is dividing that clock time. But because it's slewed, it's not stepped, it's not always going to change a note where you expect. So it's not always going to, the quantizer is not always going to change on the note. So you get this nice little melody. And if you want a bit less, sparser patterns, you just turn down the speed of the LFOs. Thanks.